Hey everybody, Gary here with Guitar Tricks, and in this video we're going to go over how to practice with a metronome. Not only how to, but why to, how it can really help you, and I'm just going to give you a few ideas on how you could use the metronome in your practice. So a lot of people debate on whether or not it's necessary. It might not be necessary for everyone, but usually what I say is if you have any trouble locking in and playing with a metronome, then you definitely need to be practicing with a metronome. So unless you're listening to like free music, free improv where there's just no beat, the beat is the glue that holds a band together and that also connects the listener to the performer. So even if you're performing solo, there's this underlying beat that is kind of like a contract between yourself, the listener, everyone else. It's this kind of foundation that we could all rest into while everything happens on top of that. So by using a metronome, you're learning how to lock in with that beat in a way that's very minimal. It's just the beat. It's not all the subdivisions on the hi-hat and all the different kick and snare patterns. So you're able to hear yourself better. You have to hear the silence between the beats better. So it's just all around a great tool for building musicianship. So we're going to go over all that. Before we do, please go ahead and click subscribe so that you get all of the latest and greatest content from Guitar Tricks. And if you want to be notified of any new lesson, be sure to also tap the bell and let us know in the comments section any lesson that you'd like to see on the channel. That's where we're always looking for ideas. All right, let's get into it. So first of all, where can you get a metronome? There are so many apps. I've got a few of them. This one is called Super Metronome. It could do both drum tracks and just a basic metronome. So right now I've got it set to a basic metronome. We're going to do something like 80 beats per minute. That's a good place to start. There we go. So this is 80 beats per minute. So we could use the metronome as a practice tool for, let's say, increasing our speed incrementally, doing exercises, scale exercises, chord changes, things like that. But we could also use it to play a song, right? So I'm going to play you one of my songs, and I'm going to show you how I'm going to use the metronome as if it's a member of my band playing the tambourine so that we could lock in together, right? So I'm going to play my song, and I want you to see if you could hear the beat. And once you hear the beat, just clap it. I'm not going to count it off because that will give you the answer. If this is what you tapped, you were right. That was it. 1, 2, 3, 4. Maybe right around 74 BPM, 74 beats per minute. So now I'm going to play it with the beat. And the beat is not going to be flexible in any way. So I have to continually listen to something external while doing what I need to do. So there has to be a simultaneous attention over there and over here, right? So that is a huge difference than just playing it alone. It's not about my beat. It's about that beat now. That beat. Okay, here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. So that presented a new challenge, particularly because my amp is loud in the room and my phone is not loud compared to the amp, which is a real world situation. Like the band I play in, we wear in-ear monitors, and sometimes the drums are low in my mix and everything else is loud, and I'm having trouble hearing the drums. So you have to, these are real world skills. So the hardest part of what I did there was having to feel the passage of time between one beat to the next. In a band, usually there are so many things connecting each beat, you know, buka, chuka, daka, duka, buka, chika, daka, buka, right? All those little da, 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 those are called subdivisions. Those are connecting the beat. With a metronome, there's no subdivisions. I mean, you could set it so that you're hearing subdivisions, but with just the beat, there's no subdivisions. Now I'm going to show you something even harder. What I'm going to do now is only put the beat on the 2 and the 4. 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3. Okay, and now I'm going to try to lock into that. So now I have to internalize all that silence. I have to feel the subdivisions within that silence. I have to hear. So that's one strategy, is to feel the subdivisions between the beats. So it's not just stark silence. You're audiating or you're internalizing the subdivisions. Right? So I'm splitting the beat into. Let's give this a try. 1, 2, 3, 4. So my first try, I give myself like a B plus. I'm going for an A plus or an A. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, that one I thought was a little better. There's a couple spots that weren't perfect, but I had to figure out just exactly what that tempo was. What actually happened is, as soon as I stopped, I felt a little anxiety the first time around, which made me want to rush it and made me second guess myself. The second time, I tried to just focus on the feel of that pulse, just focus on that pulsating. And, you know, these are the kind of mental games that we have to play as musicians. It's a natural impulse that if you're feeling nervous, well, that you second guess what you know to be true, and that you rush. You know, you might rush. It's a common thing. You go see bands play live that are, you know, new. I remember being in a band where our first gig, we played everything like 30% faster because we were just so nervous. So yeah, on the 2 and the 4, right? I could go one step further and just on the 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. See, I rushed it. A little late. See, I would give myself a C on that. Let's try it again. 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, so, that time maybe a B minus. But see, this is a real skill, and it's something you could improve at. It's right? And the pursuit of improving at it is really worth it. The more confident you are on feeling the passage of time in the context of music and a beat, the better your rhythm's going to be. The more you can do unique things, create unique rhythms without losing your underlying sense of the pulse. So that was my song. You could do that with any song. Any song you're learning, first of all, figure out, is it in 4/4? Is it in 6/8? Two very common, things you might encounter: 4/4, 6/8, 12/8. 3/4 is actually not that common. Then set your metronome to that beat. You could try removing beats to give yourself more of a challenge. Now, you could first try this challenge without a song. For instance, if this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm going to get rid of 2, 3, and 4 and see if I can snap on the 1. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. I'm a little early. Still a little early. Getting there. There we go. There we go. There we go. Right? Okay, so now using a metronome to practice specific scales, activities, rhythms as a way to make sure that you're doing so in time and you're not too big for your britches, right? You're not going too fast. And also that you understand how to play a rhythm over a beat. So let's say I'm practicing the A minor pentatonic scale, up and down. I could do it as quarter notes, which is one note per beat. So 1, 2, here we go. I could do it as eighth notes, 2 notes per beat. 1, 2, 3, 4. I could do it as triplets, 3 notes per beat. 1, 2, 3, 4. Sixteenth notes. 1, 2, 3, 4. I could do it as 16th note triplets, 6 per beat. 1, 2, 3, 4. So I could do that speed, but I get string noise, so that's something I got to work on at a speed like that. I could do it with hammer-ons and pull-offs. 3, 4. Right, so that was just literally playing the subdivisions. Now, another thing you can do is play all of those subdivisions on each note, but just change one note per beat. So in other words, I'm going to do triplets and then 16th notes on each note and play one note per beat. On the A minor pentatonic scale, main pattern, all the way up, all the way down, you can relate this to any scale or anything. You can relate it to anything, right? 1, 2, 3, 4. 16th. 1, 1, 2, here we go. Now, another thing you should work on is accenting certain subdivisions. So for example, I'm going to do that again, but I'm going to accent the beat itself. 1E and 2E and 3E and 4E and then I'm going to do it again, and I'm going to accent the E. 1E and 2E and 3E and check it out. So 1, 2, 3, 4. So that was 1E and a 2E. By accent, I just mean make louder. Now I'm going to accent the E like this. 2, 3, 4. Right? Subtle. But by putting the emphasis on a different part of the subdivision, it sounds like I'm creating a rhythm through my accents. Right? That's what happens when you listen to like funk strumming, like. Right? Because there's still this constant 16th notes, but we're choosing which subdivisions to accent. So we could do the same thing on, you know. It almost sounds like I'm going bum, 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 but I'm still just going. So another thing you can practice with the metronome. Cool. What about just riffs, right? Like, let's say you learn a riff that goes. So that riff goes 5 to 7 on the D string, 5 on the G, 7 on the G, back to 5, and then back down to the previous string, 7, 5, and then 7 on the A. Now, that riff is, you have to feel it in relation to a beat. Otherwise, you can't really define what the riff is. So where does the riff exist within meter, within time? Here's how I'm feeling it. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1. It's hard to say the beat and play it at the same time. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's how I'm feeling it. So I'm feeling it starting on 1, on the 1, like this. 1, 2, 3, 4. So see, I had to slow myself down. The way I wrote the riff was. But once I press play on the metronome, I have to adjust to my drummer, right? I can't play at my tempo and my drummer play at a different tempo. Now, let's see if I could play it really slow at 50 beats per minute. 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, so slow tempos are harder for your musicianship. Slow tempos develop your sense of time more because you have to deal with silence more, right? You have to deal with space more. Fast tempos develop your technical ability with your fingers, right? It's easier to feel fast tempos. 1, 2, 3, 4. There's like no room for error. There's no silence to worry about. But this, you could feel lost in space, right? So practicing at slow tempos really develops your timing. So when I learn a solo, I play in a cover band where I have to learn some solos note for note, right? So a lot of times the way that I learn it is I'll slow it down, but I'll learn the rhythm and play the rhythm at a very slow tempo. In tempo, in time, I want to really know the exact rhythm, how it relates to the beat. When I say in time, I'm usually playing along to the recording slowed down. But I'll also tap my foot. I use my foot as an instant metronome, just tapping the foot acts as a metronome. 1, 2, 3, 4. Cool. Then the other great thing, is the metronome. It gives you an actual number, an actual numerical value for you to keep track of, how fast you're able to do certain things, and you can see your progress over time. All right, everybody. I hope that gave you some ideas on how to use a metronome. I hope I built a case for why it's important and why, if you struggle with it, especially, it's then even more important for you to use. Metronome, foot tapping, anything where you're always relating to the beat, because music that we play, unless you're into free jazz, is in time. The meter, the tempo is what glues us all together. So this is just working with that glue, making sure you're glued in to that time. And if you're a bedroom musician that plays alone a lot, this is going to help you relate to something external so that when you do start playing with others or for others, even if it's just for others by yourself, that beat is what holds you together with your listener. All right, everybody, if you want to learn more about playing guitar, head over to guitartricks.com. There you'll find sequential courses on foundational skills, blues, rock, country, a library of song lessons with multiple videos per song with downloadable tab and backing tracks. So head over there, happy playing, and I'll see you in the next lesson.